This segment is proudly brought to you by Seatbelt King. Bill, g'day and welcome to Bumper to Bumper. How you going?
Good, thanks, Rusty. Yep.
That's good. Now, we're here with your Valiant S-Series 1961. And I've got to say, this is one of the most beautiful looking cars that I've ever seen, mate. This just stands out. I've got to say, it is a beautiful car. When did it all start with you?
Probably about 5 years ago.
Yeah.
I bought the car, which was a wreck, and I shouldn't have done it. But started with the floor and just went on from there, and it ended up it was a rotisserie, roof off, fins off, sandblasted, and then everything else took place, and took us probably about 2.5 years to get it all back together. And I got it back Christmas before last in time for my daughter's wedding, because she wanted it for her wedding. It was used as her wedding car. As the guy that restored this done all the body work, said, if you don't do this, it's going to go down the tip and there'll be one less of them on the road.
Yeah.
And that's what it amounts to.
Yeah, but let's put it in perspective too, because obviously you've got to be passionate about it. To be able to buy a car that needs to be a complete resto and then have the floor and replace the whole floor, you're going to have to pour a lot of money into this car.
Yeah.
And this is a high dollar car, because the workmanship on this car is exceptional.
I think that we fall in love with the model of the car, and that's what I've always done, because I had my first one when I was 18.
Yep.
You fall in love with it and the shape of it and everything like that. In hindsight, if you were thinking like that, you'd probably say, well, I'm going to buy an old Porsche and put the same amount of effort into the Porsche and it'd be worth money. But if everyone did that, these old cars wouldn't be on the road anymore.
Yeah, all right. Now, as part of the resto, safety is a huge factor in a car. What were the seat belts in the car beforehand?
I think it just had some. All it had was lap belts, which, like these cars. A lot of people say, oh, the old cars, they're strong and everything like that. They may be strong, but there's no crumple zones in them, and the absorption when you get into an accident is going to be you. Yeah. And so I went down and seen Pete at Seatbelt King, and between Pete and Andrew that done the resto, they reinforced the B pillars, and Pete made me up the belts for them. And so it's got front and rear belts, and reinforced on all the rear for the rear belts as well.
Just to break in, not just the sash belts, but also the
lap sash. Yeah. They're both lap sash, and they're lap sash in the back, all supported across the back panels, the B pillars. And Pete and Andrew they cut the B pillars off and welded supports inside there. And as you notice, they're lap sash, and there's no bolts hanging out the side or anything like that, because they're all gusseted on the inside.
Now, obviously, safety is a very important issue for you, because obviously some people want to get their cars period correct.
Yeah.
But obviously, there's a fine line between period correct and the safety of not only you but also your family. And you did talk about your daughter's wedding, using the car in the daughter's wedding. So there are a lot of factors that need to be considered. That's it.
Well, yeah, and not only that, when I joined the club...
now, which club's that? Give them a plug.
S&R Series Valiant Car Club.
Yep.
One of the guys in the club had an accident in an S-Series with his wife on board, and they were in the trauma centre in the hospital for a long period of time. Yeah. And the car was just an absolute wreck. And you look at it, and I know he had seat belts on. If they hadn't had seat belts on, they wouldn't have made it. Yeah. And so it is really important.
Funny we talk about that, because back, when seatbelts first introduced into Australia, back in the mid to late 70s, I think, and you think to yourself, why wasn't it earlier? Yeah,
well, and if you remember, well, I can remember back in those times, and a lot of people just didn't wear them anyway. Yeah. And you think, now you get in a car and it's just automatic seatbelt on. Yeah. Because it's just so important, safety.
Now, with a black car, what type of considerations did you have to consider for the seatbelts you had? Colour range, or the types of buckles, or all that kind of stuff?
Well, I wanted I've probably got too much black in it, black interior and everything like that. So
You didn't go bright pink, did you?
no, I didn't go bright pink. No, and, I told Pete I wanted black, but I was thinking of going a blue or something, but I ended up going with the black, and I'm glad that I did now.
Yeah.
Because it with the silver, bit of the silver in the inside, it just lifts it. It's just got the right amount of colour now.
Yeah.
I'm happy with everything done about it.
All right.
Yeah.
Bill, I can tell that you don't mind changing and upgrading cars to make sure that from a drum, from the drums, from drums to disc, from seatbelts, from the sash to the Australian standards, to improve the reliability and the safety of the car.
Yeah, and safety's most important. Yeah,
absolutely.
So, now we can do all that. We can put bigger brakes on them to make them stop better. You just do everything like that. And I think it's really important.
Yeah, no, it's very true.
Seatbelts and that. Once we never really used to care, but now you do.
Yeah.
It's very important now.
All right, Bill, I want to say this is an absolute gorgeous car. It's one of the best cars I think I've ever seen, to be honest, and
Thank you.
it is just faultless. So well done to you and all the guys that worked on it for your resto, and I want to say thank you very much for being on Bumper to Bumper.
And thanks, Rusty. It's been a pleasure.
Cheers.
Cheers.
And big handshake there from Bill.
Yeah. Hi, I'm Bill from W&W Automotive Electrical,
Hi, I'm Kayleen.
and we're watching Bumper to Bumper.